Top Fuel Racing is on the air. Live from Donington Park, Donington, England, it's RACEVERSARY. The kickoff to Season 7 and the first one for the IR18s. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight. And joined with me by my partners in crime, Mr. Mountain Dew and Mr. Pall Mall Menthol 100. Oh, welcome to my hell. Anyways, Donington Park, Donington, England, site of some epic, just straight up epic battles throughout the history of forever. As we kick off the inaugural IR18 season. And ladies and gentlemen, it was 4 years ago today, our defending Season 6 champion, Scotty Brinson, came up with the awesome idea to start this league. Qualifying underway right now. Not a big shocker of who's sitting atop the leaderboard, but it's kind of a shocker when you take a look at how far into the green he is on said leaderboard. Sage Karam right now, almost a full second to the good over the road course ringer himself, Mr. Nate Seaford. Nate just 72 thousandths to the good over Garrett Maines. Garrett's only a half a second to the good over Kyle Streichers. Kyle, I do apologize. We need to get together in TeamSpeak. You can tell me how to pronounce your name afterwards. Chris Walker, Keith Mayato, Damon Martinez, Jake Champion, our defending series champion, Scotty Brinson, sitting in 9th, and Season 5 champion, Michael Jean, sitting in 10th. So there is a battle right there to keep an eye on. Brinson coming down the pit straight right now, hauling it off into turn number 1. As he goes 8th quick, bumping Jake Champion to 9th. And there's the old guard himself, Mr. Michael Jeans, making his return to full-time driving here in Top Fuel Racing. So you're about to see something special, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time the series has gone to Donington Park. This is only the second or third time they've gone to England at all. So definitely in for some interesting racing tonight. I was watching some of the practice sessions earlier in the week, and this is one of those tracks with the setup that's under the car right now that either you get it or you don't. And there are some guys that are really getting it, and some guys that are struggling. It's kind of surprising. A couple of the names that come to mind: Chris Samard, currently mired back in 16th. The young gunner himself, Mr. Ronnie Osberg, usually pretty decent on a road course, currently does not have a time on the board. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. Matt Burkhart, another one who's usually pretty darn decent on a road course. Again, not being able to put up a clean lap so far. Keith Mayato currently sitting 7th quick. Keith usually quick no matter where he goes and what he drives. And there he is, mired in traffic. There's Ronnie Osmer. Look at the front brakes on Osmer's car. Holy cow, has he cooked those things already. Mayato rocking the Repsol colors tonight. Was the only Ford in the field last season. Now rocking the Honda power plant. And if that's not a 1X, I'm not sure what is. So Garrett Maines goes second quick while we were away. Currently 6/10 to the good. Sage Karam still holding down the top spot. Unofficial track record, 1 minute 11.245 seconds. That's hole in the mail, ladies and gentlemen. So, a lot of new names tonight. Names that we haven't seen in previous broadcasts a lot, if at all. And it looks like shared pit stalls tonight from what I'm seeing. There's Rick Raven rocking the Snap-on colors. Currently just outside the top 10. Michael Jean's only a 10th to the good over Rick right now. So don't count out the... this is going to be Rick's first full-time season with TFR. As the same goes for Sage Karam, and it sounds so weird to call Sage Karam a rookie in an Indy car. Multiple-time starter of the Indy 500. First full-time season with Top Fuel Racing, so there's that. And there's my partner in crime normally, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, coming out of pit lane right now, rocking another new paint scheme. Actilian, PH Aware, The Mighty, and both broadcasting on the 101. Hometown race for Sam, as he is from the greater portion of the UK. So he was turning some pretty. I'm looking at the lap times, and basically throw a blanket over 8th on back, and you have less than a second separating everybody. And right now, the last driver to put up a legitimate qualifying lap, Robert Dudley, with a 1 minute 20-second lap, just putting a safe one in there, just to make sure that he doesn't start at the very tail of the field. Sam working on his pit entry, trying to hit the marks, getting into the stall. So, qualifying getting ready to wrap up here. Just about 42 seconds left. Take a quick look at the track conditions. 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 90-degree track temperature. Mostly cloudy, but still relatively warm track conditions. So, something to keep an eye on there. Sage Karam blistered one at the end of that session. 1 minute, 10.773 seconds. Unofficial track record. And that puts him 1.1 seconds to the good over Garrett Maines. Wow. I don't know how else to say it. Wow. So as we bring up the grid here, starting up on the point, Pennsylvania Posse member himself, Mr. Sage Karam, is going to be joined with Garrett Maines out of Virginia. Row number 2 is going to go to Midwest Nate Seaford, he's joined with the Canadian Invader, Mr. Keith Mayato. Kyle, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out your last name. Get with me in TeamSpeak after this. Strychars, I hope I'm saying that right. He's going to be joined with Damon Martinez in row number 3. Row number 4 is going to go to Chris Walker and defending series champion, Mr. Scotty Brinson. Jake Champion and Michael Jeans make up row number 5. Row 6 is going to go to Rick Raven and Kevin Cornelius. Captain Will Kirk and Mark Walker make up row 7. Row 8 is going to see Carl Burke and Ronnie Osmer. Row 9, Jeff Hollingsworth and Chris Simard. Tyler Vickery and Sam Cooper Bennett making up row number 10. Row 11 is going to go to Kevin O'Brien and Robert Dudley. Tony Rice and Matt Burkhart make up row number 12. And starting shotgun on the field, should he get back into the session, Johnny Antonucci. So, looks like rolling start tonight. And it looks like 25 cars scheduled to roll off. Chris Simard going to pit start it, as is Sam Cooper Bennett. Field working its way around right now, and expect there to be a lot of fireworks tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as 75 minutes the scheduled race time, and according to the little tattletale I'm looking at right now, we're looking at roughly 63 laps as they come out of the final quarter. Green flag is out, and we are underway. They haul it off into turn number 1. And Sage Karam with a commanding lead right now. Garrett Maines and Nate Seaford sitting second and third, respectively. Seaford looking on the outside of Maines as they haul off into... Tonight's Heartburn brought to you by Papa John's. So field's starting to get strung out a little bit right now. From what I've been told, we're looking at about a 3-stop race. Depending on fuel strategy throughout the rest of the event, you're looking minimum 2 stops, depending on if you can stretch both runs. You might need to take a splash and dash with a couple minutes left. So Chris Walker giving up some ground right now, playing the conserve game. Oh, there it goes. Carl Burke getting it all wrong, going into the left-hander, the final left-hander. Takes a little trip through the grass, does a little gardening, and gets it back underway. No harm, no foul. Looks like nobody collected him. So Osmer, Cooper Bennett, and Simard all electing to pit start this one. And the field really getting strung out right now. Closest battle on the track right now is Will Kirk and Kevin Cornelius, as Kirk makes quick work of Cornelius, who now has to deal with Chris Walker all over his transmission tunnel. Walker looks to the inside, thinks better about it, ducks in behind, going through the S's. Like somebody may have gotten some lockup there. Will Kirk now dealing with Jake Champion right now. That's your battle for 10. So a couple new names. Champion new to the league. Rick Raven in his first full season, currently sitting in 9th. Sage Karam in his first full season, currently leading this piece. 4 seconds to the good. There's Seaford 4 seconds back, just getting into the DRS zone. Seaford still dealing with Garrett Mays and Keith Mayato, as those guys are 3 seconds to the good over Kyle Strycharge. And that's still on the screen. So there's Seaford and Maines still slugging it out. Maines getting a little twitchy coming into the right-hander. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I admittedly am not a road course expert. I do not know the names of all the corners here at lovely Donington Park. All I know is I love the way this track flows. There are very few cars in this sim that I do not enjoy here, as Maines bombs it into the inside, into the hairpin, and gets the position coming out. Seaford had to check up a little bit, going to try to get a run going into the final corner. Not going to make it happen. 6.8 seconds to the good for Sage Karam, as we are starting to work lap 5. And Mark Walker upside down. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened there. Bombs it in there, catches the curbing, and has some help. Jeff Hollingsworth nowhere to go as Walker just slid it in and came back out onto the track across the grass. So, yeah, it's going to be a tow. So a little bit of nose damage on Hollingsworth's car. Missing one of the front wings. That's not going to help his situation, as Cooper Bennett dispatches of him very quickly. I got to give kudos to Team Phenomenal. Definitely trying to raise some money and do some good for people. Pulmonary hypertension, PH Aware on that car, the Mighty on that car. Both great charitable organizations. Now, the Mighty is, for lack of a better term, a clearinghouse for all sorts of different charities. And it's also a sounding board for people with terminal illnesses to be able to have a place that they can talk to one another, share experiences, and just let each other know, hey, you're not alone. And PH Aware, pulmonary hypertension, of course, one of the most difficult to diagnose terminal illnesses on the planet, due to the fact that it masks itself as so many other terminal illnesses. By the time most doctors can put the pieces together, the only course of action left is a lung transplant. So the best thing for everybody to do is just get PH Aware And to do that, we ask that you go to phaware.global. PH, the letter P, the letter H, aware, all one word, .global. And, really try to educate yourself so that when symptoms start to crop up, you're less afraid to go to your doctor and say, hey, what about this? Could it be this? And that will... early detection is the key. And it's been proven. One of our very good friends is a PH survivor currently, and early detection is really what saved him. And Actelion, that's on the side of Sam's car, is also one of the medicines that helps keep our good friend alive. So, kudos to Actelion for coming on board and helping to support the cause there. So enough soapbox time. Let's get back to the action. As one of the closest battles on the track right now is Rick Raven, Michael Jeans, and Jake Champion. That's Raven in the 11, Jeans in the 08, and Champion in the 100, as well as Chris Walker in the 23, has worked his way up from an early spin. So, no, I'm sorry, that wasn't him. That was the 09 that had the early spin. As Raven gives a little lockup going into the double right-hander. Kevin O'Brien and Sam Cooper Bennett slugging it out right now. Cooper Bennett getting the spot, just blasting it through there, come through the final corner. And there goes Matt Burkhart as well. Burkhart with wing damage. So, something to keep an eye on there. Meanwhile, back up towards the front of the field, Seaford and Maines continue to slug it out for second place. Keith Mayato just right there within striking distance. Almost gets it wrong. Thank God these cars don't have those ugly Kardashians on the corners anymore. That would have ended poorly. Extra foot and a half definitely saved that one from becoming a bad wreck, as Maine's got it all wrong and almost collected Seaford. They both get it collected back up and continue this freight train. 15 seconds behind your current leader, who has led all 9 laps, currently working lap 10. And that, of course, is the rookie Sage Karam. And it seems so weird to call Sage Karam a rookie, especially in an Indy car. But, this is the level of competition that's starting to creep into Top Fuel Racing. You have heavy hitters like Sage Karam coming in and saying, hey, I like the product. I want to come run with you guys. And here we go. Already starting to get into lap traffic. You saw a couple lappers in front of him there. And I didn't think it was going to be this quick. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen as we start lap 11. Holy cow. And this just goes back to what I was saying earlier, that there's definitely a big gap between those that have a handle on this setup and those that don't. And as much as it pains me to say this, if we took Sage Karam out of the equation, you have less than 10 seconds separating the top 10 cars. Again, that's with Sage out of the equation. So that is Kevin O'Brien going a lap down. First car on track to actually go a lap down. Everybody else lost a lap in the pits. Matt Burkhart directly in front of Karam right now. Going to duck in behind, try to see if he can keep up with one of the young gunners in the Indy Racing League in real life. And I'm being told by the boys in the truck that we do have a camera mounted on Sage's helmet. So we're going to follow along with Sage for a lap and just enjoy the sounds, ladies and gentlemen. Now, conversely, we're going to go on with... This is Garrett Maines that we're riding along with right now. That's Nate Seaford in front of him, as you can see. And you can see just how different the driving styles are. You can tell how much harder Maines is having to hustle the car around. Not really feeling the setup in the same way that that Sage was. Fighting it a little out of that final corner. That's definitely gonna hurt him a little bit on the lap time there. And an off track. There goes Keith Mayato flashing by. Maines back to fourth. Your current top 10 as they run: Sage Karam, Nate Seaford. Oh! Burkhart and Mayato getting into it. And that's going to let Garrett Maines get himself back into this fray. Looks like Burkhart didn't see Mayato coming. But Sage Karam, Nate Seaford, Garrett Maines, Keith Mayato, Damon Martinez, Scotty Brinson, Kyle Streichard, Kyle, I'm sorry. Rick Raven, Chris Walker, and Tyler Vickery rounding out your top 10. As Seaford dips 2 wheels coming out of the first corner. And I got to think we're getting around the time when we're probably going to start seeing green flag pit stops. Now, of course, this Donington is the Grand Prix layout. There is what they call the Indy layout, whereas you saw them coming down that chute there. You can either go to the right or you can go to the left. If you go to the right, it's just a chicane that leads back to the front straightaway, the pit road short chute. Whereas if you go to the left, it brings you to the longer portion and now dumps you back out onto the pit straight, if you will. So, Grand Prix layout going right now. Definitely a fun layout in any car. I would like to remind everybody you are watching a presentation of the Top Fuel Racing Series IR18 League. They do this every Wednesday night. If you would like to get in on the action, go ahead and drop a comment below. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, wait till the live stream is over and drop a comment in the post-race chatter and leave your iRacing screen name. We'll get it passed along to the league admin and see if we can get you added into a future series. Now, the one thing we do ask is there is a summer light series where we're using the Pro Mazda on Sunday nights as kind of a feeder series, for lack of a better term. This coming Sunday, we're going to Pocono. And if you've never driven the Pro Mazda at Pocono, it's one of the few tracks in iRacing where you still have to drive the wheels off of it, but the higher gearing to work, the car just doesn't have the power. So even in the draft, there's still no way to get away from each other. 23.5 seconds to the good right now. So there's Nate going into turn 1. And there's Sage. Holy cow. Coming into the double right-hander. So there's the front stretch to the right, as you just saw that shot. Yeah, that's how much of a lead Sage Karam has right now. Sage Karam getting ready to head onto the front stretch right there. Nate Seaford, there's Sage Karam going past pit road, and now these guys are going just past the turnoff to go to the Indy portion of the course, the short course, if you will. So that's how much of a lead Sage Karam has, and Karam goes pit side. 18 laps in, Karam taking it pit side. Let's see what Seaford's going to do. Seaford's going to stay out, as is Maines and Mayato. And there's Karam just finishing his pit stop, joining the fray. And Seaford takes over the lead. Can he hold it? Now, Karam is on cold tires. Seaford, light on fuel, warm tires. Maines, light on fuel, warm tires. Sage Karam, full boat of fuel, cold tires, sticking with them. That's scary. Rick Raven taking it pit side now as well. As Karam gets by Maines. Seaford right there, still holding the point. Currently, anyways. As they come into the final sweeper, leading back onto the pit straight. Seaford's going pit side. Maines going pit side. They lock it up and almost run Carl Burke flat over. So Seaford in. Maines in. Mayato in. Martinez in. Streicher's in. Brinson now in. And Carl Burke pulls the trigger. We are back underway. Maines getting it all wrong coming through one sideways. These cars do not like to drift. Somehow Maines collected it back up. Didn't kill anybody. And Sage Karam just putting on a clinic right now. 27.8 seconds to the good. Vickery down and away after his pit stop. So 11 cars left on the lead lap. And there is your last car on the lead lap, Jake Champion. And there's Sage Karam. Cue the Jaws music, folks. Holy cow. And pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to find any sort of battle going on. The closest one right now, there's Brinson and Streichers almost getting into it with the 49 of Robert Dudley. So this is your closest battle on the track right now. Half a second separating your two. This is your battle for sixth. Brinson just... No, I'm sorry. That was Streichers just bombing it in there. And that was Kevin O'Brien getting the heck out of the way. O'Brien not wanting to be that guy. So good on you, Kevin. Will Kirk getting the heck out of the way. Still not wanting to be that guy. And these guys are going to run it hard, but they're going to run it clean. And currently this is your only battle on track because everybody else more than a second and a half away from each other. These guys the only ones within half a second of each other right now. Currently working lap 24 of 63. 9 cars left on the lead lap. There is your last car on the lead lap, Rick Raven. And there's his teammate, Mr. Sage Karam, closing in right behind him. So the Jersey Jet, the Pennsylvania Posse member, putting in work right now. Mark Walker getting it all wrong coming through that last corner, just way overcooked it. Kevin O'Brien getting it all wrong. Will Kirk flashes by. "33 seconds to the good," almost 34. Actually, now it is 34 as we go past that timing loop. 34 seconds to the good. Yeah. Sage Karam just flat out putting on a clinic right now. Maine's just biding his time. He can see Seaford in front of him. Now, I was told previous to the race starting that these guys do have 10 push-to-pass opportunities. And for those of you not familiar with the Indy Car and how that works, there is a computer-controlled pressure relief valve for the turbochargers that the league decides how many push-to-pass opportunities you're going to get. Usually they're used on road courses. I don't believe they're used on speedways at all. But at any time during the race, you can use one of those predetermined pushes. There's a button on the steering wheel that activates it. And what it does is, instead of letting your turbocharger wastegate vent the excess turbo boost to the atmosphere, it locks that wastegate shut and gives you that extra 30 to 50 horsepower. And you can see when somebody's using it usually. Like, I'm sure if we went on board with Garrett Maines right now, we're going to see that he's used, I dare say he's used at least one. So let's go on board. And doesn't look like it's telling me how many he has. But if you look from left to right, you'll see 2 red boxes, 2 yellow boxes, an orange box, and then another yellow box on his steering wheel. The first 2 boxes are the anti-roll bar settings, which in a fixed setup race you're not allowed to change. The next one is how many times you've triggered the push to pass, or PTP. And unfortunately, it's not giving us the tattletale of how many he's used so far. Probably not a bad thing, as he is right back on the transmission tunnel of Mr. Nate Seaford. These guys are 8 laps into their fuel stint right now. And these two guys are just flat checked out on Keith Mayato. Almost 10 seconds to the good over 4th place. Still half a lap behind your current leader, Sage Karam, though. Still cranking off pretty decent lap times, though. Anytime you can average low 12s, which these two guys are averaging, that's pretty darn good. Not including the in and out for the pit stop, they're averaging 12.5 seconds between the two of them. Sage Karam's doing a little better, but hey, he's a pro. And if you'd like to come race with the pros and test your moxie against some of the best in IndyCar racing, in iRacing, and for that matter, in the real world, we ask that you come join us this coming Sunday as the Summer Light Series, the Pro Mazdas, take to the Tricky Triangle of Pocono Raceway. If you want to get in on the action, go ahead and drop a comment with your iRacing screen name, and we'll see if we can't get you added into Sunday's Pro Mazda race. If you are watching on the YouTube stream, we do ask that you wait till after the live portion is over and go back to the replay to do so. It just makes it easier for the league admins to say, okay, this person wants a league invite, this person wants a league invite. And we'll see you on Sunday. But in the meantime, in between time, there's Rick Raven currently holding down 9th place. Rick, my new broadcast partner for the Monday night e-auto racing Xfinity cars. And Chris Walker's rear wing looks like it has gone through a war zone. Good grief. As Garrett Main's back all over the back end of, that is Nate Seaford in front of him. They get into lap traffic. That's the one thing I've noticed. Seaford being a little bit more cautious because he kind of has to be, whereas Garrett Maines can use Seaford as a rolling pick and just kind of follow him through as traffic kind of gives way. And that's Michael Jeans directly in front of them. Your Season 5 champion, currently sitting in 12th, 1 lap down. Gives plenty of room, doesn't want to be that guy. Trust me, we've all raced against that guy before. So You know, just the fact that so much respect is being shown by all the drivers tonight is actually good to see. And then as soon as they get back into a little bit of clean air, Seaford starts to stretch his legs a little bit. He's got a little more pace during open track than Maines does. Maines able to reel him back in when they get into the traffic. And the same can be said for Scotty Brinson, your Season 6 Series champion, defending champion right now. Currently running in 7th. Dips 2 tires off track, trying to figure out a way to get past the rookie Kyle Streichers. Can hang with him, just can't find a way to get around him cleanly. And I know Scotty, he's not the type of driver who's going to want to, you know, do a bump and run, especially in an Indy car. That's not the best course of action to take. So just biding his time, knows that there's plenty of racing left to do, as we are just past the halfway point. Your battle for second as Maines right on the transmission tunnel of Nate Seaford again. Seaford just gets such a better drive off that corner, though. Gonna bomb it down to the inside into the hairpin, locks him up a little bit. Seaford just gonna give him plenty of room, knows there's plenty of racing. Almost stepped on his own junk coming off the corner. Dips 2 tires off the racing surface. Not what you want to do. Gets it collected back up. May have changed the flavor of his fire suit, but he'll never tell us the truth. So Maine's up into second. Let's see if these guys can start to reel in Mr. Sage Karam now. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are reading that right. Sage Karam almost 43 seconds to the good. And to give you an indication, Damon Martinez in 5th, the last car on the lead lap. So there's Martinez. And there's Sage Karam. So only about 4 corners back. Martinez into the last 2 corners onto the front straightaway right now. There's Karam into the hairpin at the bottom of the track. 2 more corners and he'll be down the front straightaway. That's how quick Sage Karam is going around this place. Nate Seaford back by Garrett Maines. And I missed it. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But these guys definitely want to get the highest spot on the podium that they can get. Slugging it out like it's the last lap. It's 30 to go this time across the stripe. Minutes, that is. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a very short break right now. We'll be back momentarily. And we are back with the Top Fuel Racing Series Indy Racing League IR18 Season 1. Season 7 overall, though. As Garrett Maines is taking it pit side. Sage Karam has gone pit side. Karam has not only gone pit side, he's gone pit side, come back out. Still 19 seconds to the good. Seaford, all by his lonesome, 19 seconds back in second. Keith Mayato, 11 seconds back in third. Damon Martinez, 3 seconds back off of him in fourth. Garrett Maines has done his second stop. Comes out in fifth, 10 seconds back on cold tires, doing a little lawn care and blasts the DRS sign. And Seaford has gone pit side again. Here comes Mayato. So relatively short pit lane. Some of these guys are having to share pit stalls. And if you don't think that that's weird the first time you do it, I'll tell you right now, it's definitely, what's the polite way to put this? Cerebral carnal impulses, shall we say? Cerebral fornication? Leave it at that. Meanwhile, Seaford's gone pit side, and Sage Karam is back out to a 47-second lead. Garrett Maines he's dealing with Robert Dudley right now, and there's Seaford going into the left-hander, so he can see Seaford from here. And there's Martinez and Mayato slugging it out. That is for fourth. That's Mayato's got the position in the orange and black car. There's Martinez in the 13. So this is one of the closest battles on the track right now. So, of the cars still running, Chris Simard is still sitting in pit road. Burned his fast repair early and then had to tow again. Burkhart has put it behind the wall. Tony Rice still slugging away at it in 20th. Robert Dudley sits in 20th. Tony Rice in 21st is 7 laps down. Robert Dudley 5 laps down. Jeff Hollingsworth has parked it from 19th, currently 4 laps down. So expect to see him move down the board a little bit. Mark Walker 4 laps down in 18th. Kevin Cornelius 3 laps down in 17th. Will Kirk 3 laps down in 16th. Carl Burke in 15th, 2 laps down. Sam Cooper Bennett 2 laps down. Ronnie Osmer 2 laps down. Jake Champion 1 lap down in 12th. Michael Jeans 1 lap down in 11th. Chris Walker 1 lap down in 10th. Tyler Vickery 1 lap down in 9th. Rick Raven 1 lap down in 8th. Kyle Streichers 1 lap down in 7th. Scotty Brinson 1 lap down in 6th. So the last car on the lead lap is the one we are currently watching. This Damon Martinez currently sitting 5th. Let that sink in for a moment, folks. 22 laps to go, and our leader has lapped all the way to 5th. That's insane. And here is your current battle for 8th. You got Rick Raven in the 11, Tyler Vickery in the 24. Raven just trying to keep her clean. And I believe, yes, it is. That is Kyle Streichers right in front of them. So technically, it's your battle for 7th. Raven closing in, using that threshold braking that his teammate has probably taught him. Tires starting to get a little bit of wear on them. Didn't get the drive out of the final corner that he was looking for. Streicher's going to stretch it out a little bit. Now, I would like to remind everybody, this coming season, there is going to be a new element added to the Top Fuel Racing League, and that, of course, is the AZ Direct Team Challenge. With up to, I believe that I saw the number at 4. They're going to give you 5 races to get everything sorted out. After that, anybody that joins a team after race 5, their points previously don't count for that team. But the way it's going to work is up to 4 drivers, top 2 finishers per team are going to count towards the team points. And AZ Direct putting up the money for this one. And for all your sim racing peripherals, all your computer peripherals at a reasonable price, you want to go to AZ Direct. You can find them on their Facebook page. Have to thank Michael Lawler for coming up with this idea. I love the idea. I think it's a great idea. Going to add another element to the events. So definitely something we're going to need to keep an eye on as the season moves forward. And Garrett Maines has reeled in Nate Seaford. There's Seaford in the deuce, Garrett Maines in the 12. Now, granted, they are 52 seconds behind the leader, but they are only half a second between each other. And with 19 to go, we've not seen the money stop yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how pit strategy plays out from here on out. And unless Sage Karam steps on his own junk or gets caught up in someone else's dumpster fire, you're not catching him. Flat out, you're not catching him. So a quick look at your top 5. These are the last cars on the lead lap currently. Karam, Seifker, Maines, Mayato, and Martinez. Let's take a look at Martinez. There he is. And there is your leader, Sage Karam, dispatching of the lapper. Now has Martinez in his sights. And you know Martinez knows it's coming. He knows it's coming. He knows it's pretty much academic. The question is, how hard does he fight to stay on the lead lap? The other question is, how hard does Sage Karam push to lap as far up the field as he can? Robert Dudley getting the heck out of the way, letting these guys just go at it. Martinez right now on pace to put up his fastest lap of the event. Going to come into the chicane here. And there's Karam just stalking him. Martinez putting up the lap of his life right now, getting the heck out of the way. And that was his fastest lap of the event. 1 minute, 12.8 seconds. That's a quick one for Martinez there. However, Sage Karam just went 12.7. So, you know, Damon, you guys are still faster than I'll ever hope to be on this track in this car. I tried some laps with this setup, and I was in the same boat as some of the guys way further down the field. I think about the only battle I would have had this race would have been with Chris Samard, because I could not get, as Karam has problems. Let's go back and take a look at what happened there. Coming into the chicane, catches way too much curb, spins it. Shades of Teo Fabi. Still a minute to the good over Seaford, who is still battling hammer and tongs with Garrett Maines. And Seaford has front wing damage. Not sure what happened there. Oh, hang on to her, kid. Garrett Maines bombs it in there, cooks it, tries to get the drive off the corner. Seaford crosses him over. Seaford going pit side. 14 laps to go. This is the money stop. Seaford's the first one to blink. And there goes Sage Karam flashing by. Keith Mayato now the last car on the lead lap in third. So there's Karam. He can see Mayato. The question is, who blinks next? Karam coming into that final corner. And Karam's going to be the next to blink. That's going to put Martinez back on the lead lap for now. Kevin Cornelius finishing his money stop. Again, you can make it from here. And Seaford back on the lead lap. Maines is going to stay out another lap. 12 to go. Maines currently sitting in second. Sage Karam shows the way, 38 seconds to the good. Has already done his money stop. Garrett Maines has not done his money stop yet. 13 laps into his stint. Probably not going to be able to make it from here. Probably going if I had to venture a guess, he's going to try to short pit it as much as he can. Just take a splash and go. Whether he's going to take fuel or not, tires or not, that's a different story. Keith Mayato, 12 laps into his stint, has not taken his money stop. Currently sits in third. 9 seconds behind Garrett Maines. 5 seconds in front of Damon Martinez. There's Mayato. And those tires are whooped. Mayato going to stay out another lap. Let Martinez reel him in, though. Only 2 seconds back now to Damon Martinez. There he is. There's Miato flashing by. There's Martinez. And there's Seaford. So a little drama starting to edge up here as we are 11 to go currently. Oh, that's going to be a slowdown. One on the wrong side of the pylon coming through the S. Miato a whole lot easier coming through the hairpin that time. Did not step on his junk like he did the previous lap. Is he going to stay out? No, he's going pit side. Martinez stays out though. So Miato's in for his money stop. Seaford flashes by. Miato back to 5th. Seaford up to 4th. Miato's still the last car on the lead lap. And there goes that as your leader, Sage Karam, flashes by. So Miato, the first car 1 lap down. 9 laps to go. Karam, Maines, Martinez, Seaford, and Miato, your top 5. Seaford, the last car on the lead lap. As Garrett Maines flashes into the pits. And Martinez stays out. Seaford up to 3rd. Martinez in 2nd still has his money stop to make. And that's the leader right behind Nate Seaford. Sage Karam dipping 2 into the grass. Seaford, normally a road course ringer, just trying to keep it on all 4 right now, driving his tail off. Of course, tonight's overlay brought to you by PZ Overlays. Paul Zoda providing some of the best overlays in all of iRacing. Thanks again, Paul, for all the hard work you put in for this one. I love it. And you can get your own from Paul Zoda at a reasonable price. PZ Overlays. You can find Paul Zoda on his Facebook page. Paulzota. Paul Zoda, PZ Overlays. So Damon Martinez has finally taken his money stop. Seaford in 2nd. There's Garrett Maines in 3rd. There's Sage Karam, your leader. 8 laps to go. Closest battle on the track right now is directly in front of your leader. That's Chris Walker and Rick Raybon, sorry. That's your battle for 8th. Both those cars 1 lap down currently. Raybon has it. Walker wants it. So Sage Karam all over this battle right now. Dives it to the inside. Gonna get a buffer between him and his team. Oh! That almost ended poorly. Caught those guys in the wrong spot. Luckily, both of them were paying attention. Walker has to really check on the binders. Rayvon almost collects the pole going through the chicane. Keeps it pointed in the right direction. Has a little bit more breathing room right now, as he's gained half a second right now over Chris Walker. Rayvon holds 8th, Walker in 9th. So there's Garrett Maines working on the lap car, Ronnie Osmer. Osmer gives him plenty of room. Maines right now in 3rd, last car on the lead lap. 6 laps to go currently. And Osmer gets it all wrong coming out of the hairpin. Five to go at the stripe for your leader, Sage Karam. Pennsylvania Posse putting it to him tonight. Garrett Maines was currently on pace right up until there to put in his fast lap of the event. And that's not going to help matters much. Dirty tires, and here comes Karam. Dips 2 more tires. Throwing a ton of grass on the track right now. Karam all over the back bumper of Garrett Maines, looking to put him a lap down as we are currently 5 to go. Going to be 4 to go this time across the stripe. Garrett Maines doing everything he can to stay on the lead lap. Make that 3 to go. Maines dipping 2 again. Karam taking the grass. Throws the block. You would think these guys were racing for the win, though, as hard as they're going at it. Maines knows it's academic here. Just gives room and lets him go. So Garrett Maines tries to fight back. Crosses him over. Going into the chicane. Into the hairpin, all over his back bumper again. Maines doing everything he can to stay on the lead lap. Good grief, who is out of gas? That's Kevin Cornelius. And he's only 8 laps into his stint, and Cornelius is towing. Guessed wrong on the fuel strategy. 2 laps to go. Again, Maine's doing everything he can to not go a lap down here in the closing stages. Karam gets him going into the hairpin. Means was watching his mirrors too much. White flag is out. So Sage Karam has lapped through third place. Garrett Maines, the last car to fall. Nate Seaford, there he is. And here comes Garrett Maines. Here comes Sage Karam. So, unless Seaford steps on his own junk, Karam's not going to catch him to lap the entire field. So as they go into the hairpin one final time, there's the back of the paddock. Sage Karam into the final hairpin and down the front straightaway, and there is your winner, Mr. Sage Karam. Led 61 of 62 laps. Led all 62 laps. Missed all but half a lap. Seaford gonna hold on for second, looks like. So there's the teammates right there. Karam and Rayvon rolling with each other.
Channel moved.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Error.
What the hell?
Error.
Okay. What the hell just happened?
Channel switched.
Weird. What the hell just happened? Okay, I don't know what the hell I just did. Time for me to get a new mouse. Holy crap. And we're going to do this. Bring him there. So, all right. Now, that being said,
User was moved to your channel.
the first guy we're going to grab is rounding out our podium finish tonight, Mr. Garrett Maines. Garrett, towards the closing laps there, it looks like you were fighting tooth and nail to stay on that lead lap.
To be honest with you, as soon as Nate left my area, I just completely choked. Honestly, that was embarrassing. I went off course like every other corner. It's like I lost the incentive to be driving that hard, and I just let it get away from me.
Well, for what it's worth, Garrett, you guys did put on a clinic tonight. Except for the guy that stunk the entire show up. you know, you, Nate, and Keith were right there in that thick of things for, the podium all night long. So something really to hang your hat on there. The first road course of the season out of the way. I would assume you're looking forward to getting back
User
onto the
joined your
ovals.
channel.
Yeah, no kidding. I just bought this track last night and did some practice in here, and I can tell you, going through that chicane is like the hardest part of this course. It like tries to take the wheel out of your hand because you're just bouncing over it the whole time.
Well, for only having the course less than 24 hours, you did a yeoman's work to be able to put the number 12 car on the podium tonight. Definitely kudos to you, sir. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I really got to thank Nate for racing me clean there and Keith for racing me clean. We had some run-ins where that could have been really ugly, but that was a lot of fun. I got to thank Scott for putting it all together. This is a crazy race, but it was a lot of fun. I didn't think I was going to like a road course I'd never been to. I mean, last night I didn't even know where the turns were, but this was good.
Well, Garrett, you definitely showed your moxie tonight, being able to learn the course as quickly as you were and get acclimated to the setup as quickly as you were, because that was one of the things that you either got the setup or you didn't get the setup, and it was apparent that you were one of the guys that was able to adapt to the setup very quickly.
I appreciate it, man.
Congratulations. Scott, where are we next week?
Kansas.
All right. Well, Garrett, you've had good success there in the past. We're going to see you joining us there next week.
Sounds good. See you there.
All right. Garrett means everybody coming home in third place.
User was moved out of your channel.
Joining us now,
User was moved to your channel.
the guy that's second rung of the podium, and normally a road course ringer, and definitely showing that he had the skill right now. The last car on the lead lap, Mr. Nate Seaford. Nate, congratulations on the podium. I'm sure you would have loved to have had it one step higher, but you got to admit that the guy that stunk the show up kind of had your number tonight.
Yeah, I'm a very realistic man, and if I knew if I had a chance to win, something drastic was going to have to happen to Sage. So, second was about as good as a win for me tonight. So, Garrett, though, he definitely gave me a run for my money at some points tonight. The majority of the race was just mainly controlling his. I purposely wasn't running as fast as I could, just to keep Garrett in check. So, probably one of my better controlled races that I've had in Top Fuel. Probably not my best pace-wise, but I'll take it tonight.
Well, you'll take it tonight, and I'd like to point out that Phenomenal Motorsports actually put two cars in the top 10, so something to be kind of proud of there, especially with the AZ Direct Team Challenge starting up this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty looking forward to the challenge. Hopefully, I've done business with AZ Direct, and Michael, he's a great guy. So this is a really exciting and opportunity for everybody in this league to, have an opportunity to get, improved computer parts, which I think some of us need. So I'm really looking forward to the entire championship this year, and hopefully we do have a really strong showing for the entire 20 races.
Well, next week we move to Kansas. The D-shaped demon of the Midwest is, you've had some pretty good success there in the past. Talk to us your thoughts about going to the ovals finally.
Yeah, I think the last time we went to Kansas, it was in season 2 of last year, and I don't think I got the short end of the shaft that race. But hopefully it's a stronger showing. Every week we come to a track, I feel stronger and better in the car. And tonight I just didn't have the confidence level I think I needed to have in order to be really competitive. But going to next week, Kansas, I'm looking forward to having a really strong showing there.
All right. Anybody else you want to thank tonight, Nate?
Thank my entire family, of course. Gotta always thank the fam. Gotta thank all our partners, you, Bofa, PH Aware, great guys. Rockstar for keeping me awake during races.
True story.
Yep, absolutely. Actilian, Ride to Give. Probably forgetting some people, but yeah, great race overall for me, and great race overall for Phenomenal Evolution.
Well, Nate, we're looking forward to seeing you next week at Kansas.
Thank you, Tony. Tony. Thank you, Scott.
Good job, Nate.
User was moved out of your channel. User
And
was moved
joining
to
us
your
now,
channel.
the man who threw down the gauntlet with so much ferocity, he lapped through third place and stunk the entire show up by leading all 62 laps tonight. Pennsylvania Posse member, Mr. Sage Karam. Sage, congratulations on your first win in your first full rookie season with Top Fuel Racing.
Yeah, thanks. I really like the road courses. I feel like those are more my forte. So, and sim racing, I'm better at ovals in real life. But when you got fixed setup and everything, it's really hard to pull away, and it's big. Mostly close racing on the ovals. So, I enjoy the road courses. So I'll definitely enjoy it tonight.
Well, talk us through what was going through your mind during that last little foray you had with Garrett Maines. Were you aware of how hard he was trying to stay on the lead lap?
Yeah, I knew he was pushing pretty tough. It was weird, like the last 20, 30 laps of that race, I was having a lot of issues with my steering wheel. Not really sure what was going on,
User
but
joined your channel.
I was getting,
User left
stuck
your
in
channel.
gears. I would get stuck in third, fourth gear for 4 or 5 seconds, couldn't shift out of it, and then downshifts, I'd have to hit the paddle 10 times to shift, 4 times. So I don't know what was going on. So I was struggling there at the end, and I knew he was going to be pushing hard, but everybody raced really clean tonight, so that's really good. And I was pushing hard. I wanted to lap the field. Obviously, that's why I was pushing so hard at the end. But um, you know, I'm just thankful that everybody out there that was racing. There was a lot of guys on the radio, and they would say pass left, pass right, and you don't get that in real life. So these guys really race respectful, which is cool.
And that's the one thing I can say about the entire Top Fuel Racing League, or Top Fuel Racing Series, IndyCar leagues, is that nobody wants to be that guy. And I know everybody who's ever done sim racing has been in at least one session with that guy, and air quotes when I say that, because some of them are also female. So nobody wants to be the person that takes out the leader or costs somebody a podium. And that's one thing I really have to say, that as hard as everybody races here in Top Fuel, they all race respectively.
Yeah, they definitely do, and it's a tough position, that I'm in too, because since I am lapping them, I know they're also racing their own races, and a lot of those guys, I came up on the back of Rick there at the end, and he was battling for 7th and 8th, and they were nose to tail, so it's kind of bittersweet when they let me by, but at the same time, I don't want to, impede on their battle as well, so I try and keep it as clean as I can too, and it's definitely both ways it goes, so. Yeah, they all did really good tonight.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw what happened when you passed them going through the chicane there, but I'm thinking at least one of them, either Rick or Chris, if not both of them, changed the flavor of their fire suit tonight.
Yeah, Chris told me go left, going into that chicane, so I was just gonna pass him, and then all of a sudden Rick, really backed it down, and he was gonna let me go, but that was really last minute, so. I got in there really late side by side with him, and ended up, he ended up going wide, and slowing down. So then Chris had to go wide and slow down, and I saw in the mirrors it turned into a little bit of a cluster back there, but thankfully they got through and were able to finish off their battle.
Absolutely. So next week's series moves to Kansas. How much on-track experience do you have with the D-shaped demon of the Midwest?
0. I don't even know if I own the track yet. I got to download it. But yeah, I haven't raced there in real life or on the sim, so should be fun. I've seen some videos of that place, and the noise makes it look like it's got some good racing going on there. So, and these guys always put together a really cool, nice, calm but really nice racing setup. Since it's fixed and everybody's got to run the same, it's a really good race setup. So I expect it to be, a lot of lead changes. Thinking about fuel saving, and I'm hoping that there's going to be green flag stops, and then I think that's when you'll be able to see guys that are going to kind of be able to pull away a little bit, coming into the pits hot and your out laps and stuff. So I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be fun.
Well, Sage, it was definitely fun watching you do what you do tonight. Um, Granted, you stunk up the entire show from a broadcast standpoint, but from a sponsor standpoint, from as far as the AZ Direct Team Challenge goes, you and Rick both put the cars in the top 10, so definitely throwing down the gauntlet there. Anybody else you got to thank tonight?
No, I mean, just gotta thank obviously everybody that put the league together. Scott Brinson does a lot of work, and I was helping him out this week by, um, you know, I was hosting all the practice sessions and stuff to help him out on the cost and everything. So I try and do my part, but he runs the show over there and does a really good job. Thank you guys for broadcasting this and letting everybody watch, and everybody who did watch. I think a lot of my friends watched. Spencer, DJ, mom, dad. My girlfriend Abby, obviously, she's sitting next to me. She would obviously slap me if I didn't thank her because she had watching a show tonight, and I'm on here racing while she's watching the show. So she's a good sport about it.
Fair enough. Before I let you go, I do need to thank both you and Scott for putting in yeoman's work this past weekend at the 24 Hours of Spa. I know I wasn't able to drive, but as a card-carrying member of one of the first active drivers for Phenomenal Evolution Racing that started last year at Spa, I got to thank both of you for putting in yeoman's work and really trying to raise awareness for pulmonary hypertension awareness all weekend long.
Yeah, no problem. We had a lot of fun with that event. Obviously, we had a couple misfortunate events in it, but we our goal was to finish it. We all stuck around for the 24 hours, and we had a really bad start to the race, but we're back in like 50th or something, and we all rallied together to finish the thing, and slowly but surely made our way forward and ended up 21st. The car was one of the best looking cars out there for sure. Paint scheme wise, and it was a really cool car, and I had a lot of fun racing with those guys, and maybe we'll be getting together again to do Le Mans. We'll see.
User was
Actually,
moved to your
speaking
channel.
of that, Sage, you mentioned Le Mans. Joining us now, one of the other card-carrying members of Phenomenal Evolution Racing and the endurance team. Sam, I believe you wanted to ask Sage something the other night, but he kind of ducked out early on us. You want to go ahead and ask him now?
Yeah, we'd be honoured if you join us again for Le Mans when we hope to field 4 more cars there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. I had a lot of fun last time, so I'll starting this week. I gotta do some practice on it. Haven't driven a car there in a while, but for sure I'll get to it, and got a lot of practice, I guess, this week at Kansas, Le Mans, everything.
Have you guys decided which car you're going to run yet?
We haven't decided yet, but we will get there.
So.
All right, so that is going to about do it for us tonight. Scotty Brinson, any final words?
Well, I just want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. Looking at it, we had 24 of them that showed up tonight for this race, which was pretty cool. Can't run this league without all the guys that show up. So thanks to everyone out there that helps put this thing on a weekly basis. And I look forward to doing many more of these. And I agree with Sage. I thought it was an excellent race out there. I was really worried with seeing as many off tracks as there were during the week and during practice and all that. But I'll tell you what, man, drop the green flag and these boys come to life. So pretty cool.
Absolutely. And Scott, you were no slouch tonight yourself, defending series champion, coming home in 6th place. Congratulations on that. Definitely getting the ball rolling in the right direction to defend your championship. I'm looking forward to seeing what the battle looks like the rest of the season between you and Sage.
Yeah, I basically just took care of the car tonight. I rode around, and it paid off. I'm actually 4th in the points because of penalty points out there and what guys acquired as far as X's go. I only lost 1 point. Sage, I think, lost a few, and some other guys lost a few, and I'm actually 4th in the points. So me taking care of the car all night, not accumulating those X's, that was the ultimate goal, and it paid off.
Well, fair enough. We're going to run down the results real quick here. As Sage Karam, of course, coming home with the victory. Nate Seaford coming home in 2nd. The last car on the lead lap, Garrett Maines in 3rd. Keith Mayato holding on for 4th. Damon Martinez coming home in 5th. Scotty Brinson in 6th. Rick Ravon in 7th. Chris Walker coming home in 8th. Tyler Vickery coming home in 9th. Michael Jeans able to hang on for 10th. So congratulations there. Jake Champion in 11th. Scotty, help me out here. Kyle Streichers?
Streichers.
Okay, I was close.
Me and him battled all night long, man.
Yes,
I gotta
you
tip
did.
my cap to Kyle, man. We had a moment there. I guess he just braked late, and I had nowhere to go but to take all that momentum underneath him. Otherwise, I'd have killed both of us. But it's a damn shame what happened to Kyle. But he drove his ass off all night long.
Very much so. Ronnie Osmer battling back for 13th. Sam Cooper Bennett able to finish this one. Congratulations, Sam, coming home in 14th. Carl Burke in 15th. Mark Walker 16th. Jeff Hollingsworth in 17th. 18th going to Robert Dudley. 19th to Kevin Cornelius. Tony Rice rounding out your top 20 as Captain Will Kirk in 21st. Matt Burkhart in 22nd. Chris Simard 23rd. And Kevin O'Brien rounding out the field. Last car to actually start the event, 24th. So that is going to about do it for us tonight. We will join you folks next week we will join you tomorrow night for Somo Racing. Sam, where are we?
At the Tricky Triangle.
Oh, joy. So join Sam and Scotty for that one tomorrow night. Join us Friday night for Go Fast. Saturday is going to be
Major League Esports.
Major League Esports. Sunday night we're going to be back at the Tricky Triangle with the Summer Light Series. And then Monday night, all sorts of fun and excitement. Stay tuned to both broadcasting for more racing throughout the week. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us tonight. See you tomorrow.
Keep it clean, keep it green.
Sorry, Sam.
Hey, all right.